Hey guys, what is going on? Back here for another game review, and this is one that I am really excited to talk about. Obviously, by the title screen, I'm here to talk about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This was developed by Eidos Montreal, to which I'm pretty sure I flarked that name up really badly. The same studio behind Deus Ex and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If y'all have been following me since 2014, you all know how much I love Guardians of the Galaxy, the first movie that is. It's in my top 5 MCU films, to be specific, my number 4 favorite MCU film. It was the movie that many people were thinking, I don't know about this one. Once the movie came out, the movie came to be one of the more acclaimed MCU films and one of the more acclaimed comic book films out there. When the game was announced and the trailer came out, the exact same reaction happened. But I feel like I was one of the few people that actually thought this could be really good. Now, I will admit, I wasn't instantly hyped for this game like I was the original film, and that's primarily because of a game that happened last year. Yeah, that game. Before I continue on, I just want to let you all know that the footage you're seeing is captured from an Xbox Series X. Still though, nonetheless, I was very optimistic. And guys, I am so happy to say that not only is this game really good, if not great, but honest to God, it's the biggest surprise of the year. Getting into the plot, in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, we follow, well, the Guardians of the Galaxy, but we play as Star-Lord. We start off as our heroes are looking for this monster in order to make some money. They are then spied by the Nova Corps, and they are captured by Peter Quill's ex-girlfriend, who gives them a fine to pay, and you can imagine what happens if they don't pay it. Certain things happen which I will not spoil, and it seems that the leader of a cult named Raker is in the process of brainwashing people to join his cult. And that's all I'm going to say without treading into spoiler territory. Starting off with everything that I liked, let's talk about the graphics and the art direction. Because, wow, this is a gorgeous looking game to say the least. The colors are so vibrant to the point where they just pop. From the character details, the level design, the details in the worlds, and just the color palette itself. I can't tell you guys how many times I simply stopped moving just to take a screenshot of just how beautiful the vistas are in this game. There are 2 graphical modes in this game. Performance mode where the game runs at 60 FPS, where Fidelity mode plays in 4K at 60 frames per second. Both modes look great, but personally I chose Fidelity, and I gotta tell you right now, this game is full of an explosive color palette that kept me going, wow, this looks phenomenal. The next thing that I want to talk about is the combat, which has gotten more of a mixed reception. I personally really dug it. Now, some of it may seem grindy, particularly towards the end, but personally, I didn't mind so much. At first, it does seem repetitive as well, but the more I kept playing and unlocking abilities, the more I had fun with it. Using one of the elements and Star-Lord's weapons while using either one of Rocket's or Gamora's abilities at just the right time added a lot more strategy than I expected. And the huddle up mechanic, I absolutely loved. Use it at just the right battle and at just the right time, and man, does it work wonders. And if you got a song that you love plays, even better. One thing I do want to talk about is the voice acting. I was really surprised at how good the voice acting was here. Just like with the movies, Rocket was my favorite Guardian along with Groot. Drax had me laughing multiple times, and I was really impressed with Gamora. But out of all of the characters, Star-Lord here really surprised me. It did take me a bit to get into the voice actor for the adult Star-Lord, but I really grew attached to him over time. On my first playthrough, there was a part involving Rocket that had me dying. I was laughing so hard. Out of everything, the thing that took me off guard the most was the game's story. I wasn't expecting the story to not only be as good as it was, but as emotional as it was. There's a few sections that genuinely had my jaw drop, and there's one moment in particular that honestly got me to shed a few tears. But man, the story took directions that I definitely wasn't expecting, and holy crap, there are some surprises. One particular that had me do a quadruple take. One thing I do want to talk about is the soundtrack. If you're wondering if the game is like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy movies, not quite. The only similarity is the soundtrack, and man, is the soundtrack awesome. Going from bands like Tears for Fears, Motley Crue, Blondie, Starship, Wham, Aha, and more, going down to a band that was made just for the game. Well, I don't know if it was made just from the game or if it was from the comic, but if it was made just for the game, I gotta say, good job on the band Star-Lord because their stuff rules. And man, the game's original score is terrific too. On to the things I was mixed on. Well, one thing and a flaw I had. The only thing I was mixed on, and this is going back to what I mentioned earlier, Star-Lord, particularly with the adult voice actor for Star-Lord. It took me a bit to get into that character. Obviously, there's going to be comparisons between the adult voice actor here and Chris Pratt from James Gunn's films. After a while, I grew to love Star-Lord, but for some reason, at first, the adult voice actor just wasn't doing it for me. There were just certain parts where I just went, I don't know if a Star-Lord would act like that. But again, I grew to really like this character quite a bit, and by the end, he has a moment that had me clapping. I loved it so much. Moving on to my issues. The only issue that I had with the game were the bugs and glitches. And let me tell you guys, I had a lot on my first playthrough. I actually had a couple of bugs that had me restart checkpoints. One during a huddle up, and I didn't even hear the voice acting or everything was out of sync. And there was another where I thought I was supposed to go through a certain crawl space rather than a different one. Turns out I was wrong. I bugged out and I restart the checkpoint again. But those are just a few examples though. So overall, I loved Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the game that Marvel's Avengers should have been. There's a fantastic story, great characters, fun combat, gorgeous visuals, and an awesome soundtrack. And honest to God, guys, this might crack my top 5 games of 2021. All in all, I'm going to give Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy a 9 out of 10. I went into this game not expecting much, but man did it surprise me, and then some. Not only is this game such a great time, but man, honest to God, my biggest surprise for video games in 2021. So comment down below and let me know. Have you guys played the game yet? What did you think? Did you love the game or did you hate the game? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat, so if y'all want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the username in the description below. That's going to wrap it up for my review of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope you all enjoyed it. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever my latest video game review goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 video game reviews, please click on the left or right side of the screen. And of course, until my next game review goes live, I will see you all next time.
Gamora, take care of my baby.
It's shit, Peter, not a child.
Oh. Imagine.
What, the pink coupe? It's custom nano resin, designed to keep all this war stuff